Okay. What do you know about truck driving?
That is very important that it gets all the goods and like cars and gas all over the United States.
Okay. Do you know anything about your dad's job?
Not really. I was sleeping most of the time when we was on the road.
What do you know about your grandpa's job as a trucker?
That he had a lot of road rage.
Okay.
That's all I remember.
Do you have any specific stories you want to tell?
Oh, yes.
Face the camera if you'd like to tell them.
One time we were in, where was it? Springfield, Missouri. And we were at a Prime terminal, me and my dad. So we went inside to go get food, and we left our dog in the truck because we can't bring him in. So we lock the doors and everything. So we go in and get food, and we come out. This guy comes walking up to us, and he's like, "Is your dog running around?" And we tell him no. Our dog, who's a small Chihuahua, unlocked both doors, rolled down the windows, and jumped out and started running around looking for us. Best thing ever. No, he didn't get injured. He was good, though.
Is that all you'd like to tell?
It's not like a good memory, but there was one time where we were almost in a tunnel, and there was like a truck that caught on fire that wasn't even driving. It was being towed by another truck.
Alright, well, thank you for participating.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Okay. Oh, shit. Corn. I'll just edit that out. Okay, what do you know about truck drivers?
I know that they drive almost 11 hours a day. They have a 70-hour driving a week, and sometimes when they don't use the whole time in the day, the hours roll over, and if the time runs out, that they have to do a 34-hour reset. They work a lot of long hours. They drive all day, night, depending on what time their shift and schedule is, and have to make lots of deadlines.
Your husband says that you don't like him being gone. How do you fare that he is?
Well, he worked as Wells Pet Food for 22 years, and I knew it was hard work on him, and he always wanted to be a trucker because his dad kind of done some stuff, so I decided to let him truck because you guys got older. And to me, I was used to it because my dad was gone all the time.
Do you know any of the duties he has to do day to day?
Besides trucking, he has to back in to loading docks. He has to do safety checks. He has to do brake checks, weight scales, and lots of logbook stuff.
You have been with your dad before, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, what was it like?
Back then, it was harder than it would be now. No bunk beds. I slept on the floor. No TV. So basically, it was talk or read or stare out the window. But it was interesting to see how my dad done everything, because back then a lot of the trucks were stick shift and a lot of gears to go through.
What was your dad like when he was on the road before he retired?
My dad had a very hard rock temper. They called him Heater. Little things would set him off, but when he did get done, he chilled out quite a bit and became more calmer.
How did he change once he did retire?
He became more calmer, but he was always the type that was never to just sit idle. He was very obsessed with his yard. He got a job. He was a manager at a gas station, and then he became a delivery driver for a pharmacy. And he kept really busy. He wasn't the type to, like I said, to stay idle.
Do you have any memories of truck driving or anything with your husband that you would like to tell? Like favorite memories at all?
I got to ride with him one time. I've not went with him yet, but I got to ride with him to get fuel up in Knoxville, and took my little dog Cheech with me.
Is that all?
I'm happy that he does get to show me quite a few videos and pictures of everything, of places he's been that I would love to see someday.
And to end off, I'd like to ask the topic question, and I want you to give your honest opinion. Do you think truck drivers are important to the economy? If yes, why? If no, why do you say?
Yes, because that's how we get a lot of our consumerism to place to place to place. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to survive. Especially like in Texas when they had the snowstorm back in February. They couldn't get the trucks down there to have the stores filled or the gas stations filled or anything like that. They couldn't have that stuff because the snowstorm blocked them off. So if we didn't have truckers, we wouldn't have stores and we wouldn't have those jobs for people.
That's a good answer. Thank you for taking the time to answer my questions, and I hope you have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.
Due to unfortunate connection problems and certain iPhone qualities, I could not get my father's interview. And I wanted to tell what he said, so that way I still got the answers from him and everything. That way it's not a bunch of missing pieces in the podcast. So here we go. I will say the question, and then I will say what basically he said in iteration, because different way people talk. So, starting off, the question was, how did you become a truck driver? He said that he's always wanted to since he was a little kid, and that his father had done some stuff like that. Second question was, how do you think your wife feels about you being gone? He answered that he thinks that she doesn't like it, that she's lonely and misses him a lot. Some of the things that he did go through during training, which is the third question, was that he went through written tests, backing out stuff, some online digital tests, some driving tests that consist of him riding with a trainer, 3 different trainers, he says, that went on, so. The fourth question was how did your trainer treat you on the road? And he said he treated him with respect and admiration, and that he was happy that my dad was doing that stuff. Or Rick Bowden, sorry. How long did it take for you to drive on your own? He said 3 months. But it differs between the people. I asked, did you make any friends at all while did you make any friends that you still talk to? He says yes, someone down in Wisconsin, that he talks to sometimes, and he still talks to his trainer, Rudy, well, more like his dispatcher now, but the next question is, in a brief explanation, tell us how you do your job. He said that he wakes up, that he goes and checks he has this monitor that he checks, that sees if he has any messages. He checks his trailer, if he has one. He checks, the tires. He checks, in at the weigh station and a few other things before he has to leave. And then he's constantly driving on the road, and then he has to get there before the deadline. That way he doesn't lose money and the company doesn't get mad at him. The next question is why did you choose Wilson Logistics, or Eagles as they call them? He said because of it was family oriented, and that they were nice people, the training program was nice, and that they would help him get his license. So, I asked what his father-in-law was like, because he was a previous truck driver. And what he said was that he was very opinionated, he could be very rageful, very strict, very stubborn, but he could stand his ground. And let me turn the page here. I have it written on 2 different pages. What complications have you had on the road? He says he's had tires go out, bolts come loose, trailer reefers become very heated because the air conditioning wasn't working in them, or the freezer wasn't. They call them reefers. I don't know why specifically. It's easier to say than refrigerator, maybe. The next question is when you were training students, did you find anyone that you didn't like? He said yes. And the next question would be, how did they treat you? Or how did they act to you? He said that they were rude, disrespectful. They even hurt his dog. A lot of the time, when they didn't listen, they ended up failing their driver's test, too. So, I asked how his future in driving will go. He says he hopes to continue on driving and have no complications, all the time, like usual, get things back to the way they were before the pandemic and everything. I asked how dangerous it is on the road. He said that it is really dangerous because you have to move around drivers, you have to deal with people on their phones, you have to deal with others on their being rude and inconsiderate to others by trying to pass them in lanes and everything. The next question was, will you continue to train new drivers? He says maybe, because I think he's tired of dealing with them. I think the next question is how long do you think you'll go before retiring? He says another 22 years, maybe, more or less. I asked why, and he said that that's the retiring age that he wants to.